Yes lads, what is going on? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at the differences and similarities between Sorare Rivals, which is the free-to-play side of Sorare, and Sorare Pro, where you can win cash, cards, mystery jerseys, tickets, whatever it may be the Sorare giving away, you can win it over there. So leave a like if you do enjoy the video, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and if you're completely new to Sorare, there will be a link in the description of this video that will get you free market credits once you've purchased your first 5 cards from the auctions on Sorare. So I'm hoping this video really does help out some players or some new users that are just playing or have played Sorare Rivals for a little while and never really bothered to go over to Sorare Pro or know what the differences are between both. And there is a few differences. The biggest one that comes to mind for me is a thing in Sorare Rivals but isn't in Sorare Pro, is the fact that you can make substitutions in Sorare Rivals. So I've got my lineup ready for a random Norwegian game that's on today in a few hours. Now, I can't show you this in play because the game hasn't started yet, but once you've picked your cards, you do pick 5 cards in either in both Sorare Pro and Sorare Rivals. You can't use any card in Sorare Pro. You have to use cards that you own, whether that's a limited version of that card, a rare version, a super rare, or a unique. Where in Sorare Rivals, you can play whatever card that's playing in that game. As you can see, there's no face players here, which Sorare don't have licenses for, and it's a free-to-play side of things, right? We kind of know that. There's no tactics in Sorare Pro, but there is in Sorare Rivals. So you have a choice of making 5 or choosing 5 different tactics, and of course you pick a captain. You do pick a captain in both Sorare Rivals and Sorare Pro, so that is those are the similarities in that sense. But the one big difference is in game. So whilst you've got a team in Sorare Rivals playing, the game is live, you can make a substitution. So if you see that your captain goes down injured and you're watching the game live, you can then substitute one of the subs on for him, and he will then become your captain. And then he'll start on 25 points because that's what a substitute gets on the Sorare scoring matrix. Once they come off the bench on Sorare Rivals. So there is a risk in there because, it depends, right? If your captain or, if the player that's gone down injured has scored 70 points, there's no point substituting him out. Is a bit of a rule of thumb. You don't want to substitute out a card or a player that has scored well, sorry. You want to substitute out somebody that has scored really bad and is then injured, if that makes sense. Or just get substituted because he's not playing very well. So there is risk within that, but that's besides the point. The point is, you can't make substitutes in Sorare Pro. Now, there's been talk about that as a topic for years because Sorare Pro works off a deadline, which is normally twice a week. So as you can see here, it says next game week starts in 21 hours and 46 minutes. So you have to submit your team before that happens. So for example, the Euros are ongoing right now, so I would go in and build my European team. Again, 5 players, there's no difference there. Obviously, it tells you that, their fixtures and whatever. I'm going for a Netherlands defensive stack. I'll throw Tchouameni in there, Depay, and we'll go with Nacho. I then make, my captaincy choice, which is, the same. You can see all the rules are, on the right down by here. But, yeah, just trying to, walk you through it. So once that team is locked in, I can make changes to it. But once that deadline, so in 21 hours and 46 minutes, I cannot change that team. That team is locked in. Now, of course, if one of those 5 players for me falls ill or isn't playing or whatever it is, I won't get the points for those cards. And that's been an ongoing sort of discussion and topic within the Sorare community for years, in that, some of these things are out of our control. We can all foresee, projected lineups and stuff, and Tchouameni should start. But if his wife's pregnant or something and he doesn't play in the game or, whatever it is, a lot of unforeseen things happen after the deadline, which are out of our control as Sorare players, which is a frustration, I think, that is shared amongst us as users. But yeah, that's one of the biggest differences is Sorare Pro has a deadline, and then Sorare Rivals, 1, you can make subs, and 2, you can actually know who the starting players are before you submit your team. So this game doesn't kick off till 1 o'clock, right? It is currently 11:15, so I don't know the starting 11 yet. I don't have to submit my team yet. I've just done it to show you. I can wait until 12:30 once the the lineups are actually out, and it will tell you on the card if that player is starting or not. So then you can make your decisions on, of course, you want to field 5 starters. That's, the aim of the game. And of course, then for them to score well is a different story. But, that's the biggest difference between Rivals and Sorare Pro is you can know the starting 11. You can know who you want to play in Sorare Rivals before the game starts, whereas on Sorare Pro, there's a deadline you have to adhere to, and some things happen where, you know, players don't start because of unforeseen situations, and yeah, that's something you can't control. Like, after the deadline's done in 21 hours and 45 minutes now, that is it. Your teams are locked in. So I think that is probably the biggest difference, I would say, from like a gameplay perspective. I guess the obvious difference is, you know, Sorare Rivals is free to play, of course, and Sorare Pro, it does, you know, require you to own Sorare cards, whether that is limited, whether that is rare, super rare, or unique. And then, you know, you can choose what competitions you want to play those cards in. So you have like the Challenger region, for example, Contender region, which is where, you know, Celtic play in, and the Austrian League, the Mexican League, the Argentinian League, for example. Challenger is like the Dutch League, the Portuguese League, and the MLS. So, and then of course you have the top 5 leagues, which is Champion, but Champion is not open right now because it is the summer. Then within each competition or region, there is an in-season version. So as you can see here, you've got Division 1 in season, and then you've got Division 1 Classic. In season is where you can win the cash that is on offer. So as you can see behind me, behind my face cam, sorry, there is, maybe I can show you a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. So for first place in Division 1, you can win £1,200, for example, in Super Rare. And in each scarcity, you can play 3 in-season lineups within each scarcity. So for example, I could play 3 limited in-season teams for Contender, and then you can play 3 classic Contender teams at limited. So you can have 6 teams altogether if you really wanted, which would be, of course, 30 cards. Of course, that's, you know, one of the bigger differences is, you know, one's free to play and one, you know, requires you to spend money on cards to compete in, you know, tournaments and competitions, to win more cards, to win jerseys, to win tickets, to win cash, of course, in the in-season side. And I guess the transition really happens when, you know, if you have worked your way up the divisions in Sorare Rivals, you'll then, you know, accumulate cards and essence, for example, which you can redeem to get some cards as well at limited. You know, those cards that you do accumulate will then, you know, be usable in Sorare Pro once you have, you know, a full team of 5, for example, from a specific region. Of course, the cards you win in Sorare Rivals are random, but you could, you know, swap and trade, you know, for example, on the marketplace, which is, well, market manager sales is where, you know, everyone is selling or looking to trade their cards, or you can just buy cards from the auctions tab from Sorare itself. So Sorare are selling these cards, you know, similar to eBay, for example. Yeah, these are Sorare, you know, owned by Sorare, whereas the manager sales, those cards are owned by other Sorare managers, and then Sorare, you know, take a fee from yeah, the price of the card. So I think that's probably the biggest difference. Like I said, it's the substitutions, it's the game week deadline, it's the fact that one's free to play and one's obviously, you know, you need to spend money on cards most of the time to play Sorare Pro, but you can win lots of limited cards in Sorare Rivals these days with the amount of boxes you can win if you work your way up the divisions. You know, technically you can play Sorare Pro for free as long as you've won enough cards in the Sorare Rival side of things, which I think is possible over a duration of maybe 6 to 12 months easily. You could easily, you know, win 10, 20, 30 cards, I would say. Of course, they all have to be in similar regions, and, you know, they have to be goalkeepers, midfielders, defenders. You know, you have to have a full team of 5 positionally as well. But, you know, the transition is possible. And if you are looking to transition over from Rivals to Pro, yeah, be wary of some of those differences. So I'm just going back to Saturday, where I did play a bit of Sorare Rivals for the MLS to kind of just show you guys, you know, how it works in the arena in that sense. So you get paired up, you know, with another user. And this one's a little bit more complicated because you can use your actual Sorare cards that you own, whether that's limited, rare, super rare, or unique, in Sorare Rivals. You don't have to just play with commons. As you can see here, I had 3 New York Red Bull rare cards, and then I paired them with 2 common cards, you know, within that New York Red Bulls lineup. I used Tiki Taka, for example, for, you know, my tactic, and I did luckily win that by 0.3 points, which was a very tight game. So it was, yeah, Philly versus New York, of course. He went for a Philly stack, I went for New York. I backed my boys, and they came through. But I just wanted to show you guys like the scoring sort of matrix briefly. I think I'm going to make, you know, a full in-depth video on this because a lot of new users don't really understand a lot of the time, which I completely understand because the matrix is really quite intricate, which makes the game really fun. But there is a lot to dive into within the matrix. But I just want to sort of tell you guys that how cards or how players score points in Sorare Rivals is no different to how they would in Sorare Pro. Like it all follows the same scoring matrix. So you've got like a general, you've got a defending area where you've got like clearances, tackles, block crosses, for example. Possession, you have your duels won, your duels lost, interceptions, and then possession won and lost. Then you have your passing stats, which is, you know, long balls, long passes into the opposition's half, successful final third passes, big chances created. And then you have attacking, so you've got shot on goal, contest won, penalty area entries, and big chances missed. And then around that, you've got your decisive score, and then you've got your all-round score. So all these like small sections of, general, defending, possession, passing, and attacking, all those points get added up into your all-around score, which was, for Tolkien, it was 28.5. For his decisive score was 35 because he starts the game on 35 points. If he was to score a goal, get an assist, win a penalty, for example, or a clearance off the line, or a last man tackle, any of those, 5 things, if any of those 5 things would have happened, then he would have got, or his decisive score, would bump up to 60. If he would have got another one on top, so say if he scored a goal and got an assist, then he'd be on 70. So the first decisive is 25 points, and then every decisive after that is 10 points added on. So for example, Carlos Coronel, he got a clean sheet, and for a goalkeeper, that is a decisive action. As you can see, clean sheet 1, and so his decisive score is, starts at 35, but because he got the clean sheet, obviously ends on 60, plus his all-around score, which then adds up to this 84, basically, if anyone was wanting to know that. But yeah, it doesn't differ. So from Sorare Rivals to Sorare Pro, it all is based off the same scoring matrix. And I will make a more in-depth video on the scoring matrix, because I don't think a lot of people understand it, which I get, because I didn't understand it for months, I don't think, when I first started. So yeah, hope that clears up briefly the scoring matrix for you guys. Hope you've enjoyed the video, lads. Please do let me know in the comment section if there's anything I've not covered, or you want me to cover in another video maybe, or just even answer in the comment section about the differences maybe and the similarities. So leave a like if you did enjoy the video, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and I shall see you guys in the next video.